Good evening, participants. A warm welcome to all to the 11th session of Power Talks on Blockchain in Energy Sector, presented by Ms. Vidhya KP of Jawaharlal College of Engineering and Technology. On behalf of IEEE Kerala chapter, I welcome Ms. Vidhya to present her talk on overview on blockchain in energy sector. Vidhya, over to you.
Thank you, Madhu, for the intro. So, my topic is, and I'm going to present the topic on blockchain in energy sector. First of all, I want to introduce myself. So, my name is Vidya. Currently, I'm studying in the third year EC of Jawaharlal College of Engineering and Technology, and currently I'm pursuing as a chairperson at IEEE SBCCET. I'm going to take the topic about blockchain in energy sector. First of all, when uh, when the topic came across, we the first thing that come to our mind is what is the blockchain? There is okay. What is blockchain? That is a topic that is thing that come across our mind. Saying an overview of the blockchain is actually blockchain is a technology, is an emergent and disruptive technology which has the potential to improve the way individualize and organize, interact, and operate, ultimately influencing almost all facts of our daily life. Yeah. So this is the an overview that we all know about this. But coming to the topic and coming to the understanding of the blockchain, there is a talk question that what is a blockchain? So simply saying, blockchain is a way of reading and writing data in database. Okay, so it is surely different from the traditional approach of data in rows and columns that we are following from old days, right? So to understand it, I'm going to say an example that I like a story. Okay, to understand this, I'm going to say about four friends. That one is George, Jerry, and Elaine, and purpose we'll call it that saint. Just meet the saint. Okay, they decide the saints have decided to keep a track of money lent amongst them. Okay, so they build a table along with like that. But in this case, but George keep on editing or even canceling many of the records. So the problem with the above situation is obvious, right? So since the data is stored at only one location, it can be easily tempered. The starting of this term decentralization start from here. So Elaine came up, the one of the friend from the saints, Elaine came up with the solution of letting everyone know about the transaction even if they are not involved in it. Okay, so this way everyone will maintain their own copy of the sheet. If a record in database, that all the sheet will be compiled. Okay, if majority of the sheet hold the concern remarked, then the record will be deemed correct. Okay, so after a few months it turns out that Kramer owes a huge amount to Jerry, and he certainly doesn't have the money to pay off his debts. Sad, you know. So he tries to trick the system by telling everyone except Jerry about the repayment of the recorder. So Kramer add the same entry in the jury's sheet without knowing him. Oh my god. So later on, Jerry tells everyone that didn't pay to me and something like that. But nobody hears to Jerry. So Jerry came up with another change to the system. Okay, he announced to the saints that all the parties involved in the transaction must validate it. I repeat, all the parties involved in the transaction must validate it. Okay, so this is how the saints created a paper-based blockchain system. Okay, so saints does have the partial blockchain amongst them, but it is still on paper. Just imagine all of them having a smartphone and transaction happening digitally over internet. How? Oh my god, it will be something different, right? So this makes that over paper blockchain to the internet blockchain. Yeah, that's differ. So what is the different? That what makes blockchain different? That is the topic next. So if the grammar, I'm connecting this story to how blockchain is different from paper blockchain. Okay, so if grammar tries to broadcast a false transaction with the jury, It won't go through as jury will make such a record as invalid. If the consensus is not reached, then the transaction wouldn't be added by other. Legitimacy of transaction is proved only it is approved by all the participants. Okay, so even if any of the participants tries to change record, okay, so he or she will have to do it on each and every database held by each participant. Because of decentralization of the data, the complexity for an attacker increases widely. So this makes the blockchain different from the other. So I'm going to the basic concept of the blockchain also. So mutable and immutable. We must have heard some of them. Some of them will be not actually. So I'm going to differentiate between mutable and immutable. So mutable is a thing that it can be changed. Okay. So an item can be changed. That means it is mutable. And if an item cannot be changed, that means it is immutable. Okay. So blockchain system is immutable, and therefore a record gets captured, it cannot be changed. Okay, so what is the advantage of the immutability? That's the next topic. So immutability help in reducing the fraud and transaction. Okay, so if a person tries to double spend the same money to the two people, blockchain is able to identify it. It will always favor the transaction which happened earlier. I hope the concept of the immutability have you came to know to you. The next is the zero centralization. Actually, zero centralization is the most important factor or the term in the blockchain. We have already seen the internet have we are all the users have using internet by based on the trust. Actually, the customer we have actually is only there are many factors that require for the customer, but the basic concept is the trust. So building the trust, so blockchain brings a zero centralization, and thus that means that in with zero centralization we can eliminate the third party. I repeat, with zero centralization we can eliminate the requirement of the third party. That means third party can be either a bank or an institution which overlook any kind of transaction, etc. Okay, so this in turns, that means if we reduce the third party, that means we can reduce the charge paid by the consumer or transaction that go through a third party like bank. Okay, we have also know that if we transact through the bank, it will take the transaction fees for the maintenance of the service, database, etc., etc., etc. So by eliminating the third party, we can reduce the transaction fees. There will be a question arises that what if what is it blockchain is not having the transaction fees? Then I will say yes, there is an actually transaction fees, but it is also almost negligible. So we have don't have to be worried about that. Then next is the basics fixed of blockchain. The blockchain have three most important facts of blockchain. Okay, so the first one is PKI, and second is hash, and third one is non-flip. So we have to know this is the actually these three are most important facts of blockchain. So I will tell you by one. Okay, so first one is PKI, that means public key infrastructure. I just want to tell with connecting with ourselves. So we all are aware of username or user ID, right? Yeah. So it is a way of identification used prominently in digital world. We cannot shout someone's actual name or some names and starting communicating with them in over internet, right? Yeah. So the basic requirement is that each person must be known by some identification. Okay, I hope you're getting my point. So the computer program will just identify the username. It won't have any idea about who is using it in reality. Considering our case, we are actually dealing with sensitive information, right? Like financial transaction, government approved identification, all such things are critical information, right? So when a server is dealing with such information, a user is not entrusted with the job of choosing his or her own user ID. Actually, this is central authority, which creates a person's identification. Actually, this is known as public key. Okay, so I hope you're getting my point. So, it is in the form that is extremely difficult to memorize. Or we can see that it can run to the tune of close to 300 digits or more, depending upon the algorithm used to do the product. Okay, then public. We have to see what is public key. Then publicly of a person is announced to the world. In simple terms, think as public key as your email ID. Okay, no one keep it secret if they want to get communicated. Correct? Yeah. So with the same public key algorithm, a user private key is also generated. The algorithm makes sure that generator of the public and the private key shouldn't be result in the same combination. Public key are never disclosed to the world. Just like I told about the email ID, so we didn't disclose our password of the email ID, right? So just like we shouldn't should not reveal our own password. Consider a scenario where just two participants on a PKI wants to communicate. Okay, so just to say that the two persons are person A and person B. Okay, they have to send a secret message between them. Okay, so just say that person A is the sender and the person B is the receiver. Okay, so the PKI is nothing but a part of cryptography. Now we are assuming what will be the cryptography, right? Yeah. So I'm getting on that point that crypt means changing the message so that real characteristics make no sense to anyone. Only the intended recipient has a key which changes the message back to its original form. Okay, so the former process is called encryption, and the later is called decryption. Okay, so when a person has to send a private message to B, listen carefully actually, when a person A has to send private message to B, he or she will use B's public key to encrypt the message. Okay, I hope you're hearing this and getting to the point. So if the same input is given twice, if the same input is given twice, sorry, uh, okay, so encrypt and decrypt, then the message B can decrypt the same by using its own private key. Okay, so if A would have encrypted the message with any other person's public key, the message wouldn't have been decrypted by B. Okay, so the PKI provides, shortly saying, PKI provides a pair of public and private key, which are related to each other. Okay, so this is all about the short description of the PK. I hope you got it. The next important fact is the hash. We all are heard about the hash function. So the hash, what is hash? So till now we have been talking about each participant receiving input related to each transaction that has happened in the network. Don't you think that it is a lot of information moving around? Yes, I think so. So there is where a hash function help us. So hash is a cryptographic function. Okay, simply saying hash is a cryptographic function. It just if you accept an input, which can be anything from someone's name to a number denoting your bank address, bank account balance, etc. Mm. In cryptography, the idea is to change the input so that it looks non-essential. Okay, so a hash function will exactly do the similar. I hope you got it. So, in short, basically in short, so hash function will encrypt the input with two condition. Okay, so hash function will encrypt the input with two condition. Okay, the first condition will be the output produced will be always a fixed number of characteristics. Okay, the output produced will be always a fixed number of characteristics. Then any change in the input will result in the completely different output. Okay, so I will give you something like example like that, which you can connect with it. So just imagine we giving an input which is longer than the 40 characteristics. Okay, but the output that we get will be constant 40 chara. Okay, that means the input of the hash function can be even single character or thousands, but the output will always be a combination of predefined number of characteristics. Okay, I hope you get it. If the same input, now we can think that, yeah, what will if the input as given same time twice, thrice, etc. So we can say that if the same input is given twice, the output will remain same as well. Okay, so the importance of the hash function comes out when it is impossible to generate the original message from the hashed value. Okay, instead of real transaction values, blockchain stored its hashed values. If all the participants have the same hashed value of transaction, it means the database is consistent. Okay, a lot of storage space is saved if the transactions are hashed. Okay, now connecting the hashed and nonce. So what is nonce? Now the third important fact of blockchain is nonce. So we can say that nonce is nothing, but it's just that nonce can only be used once. One's first point is nonce is number. Okay, nonce is a number that can be used only once. Okay, it will never use the same value which has been used already. Okay, now I will give another example for non-trivial. Okay, let's consider a equation of 9 plus x is equal to 10. Okay, we have already studied mathematics in smaller classes like this, right? Yeah, so 9 plus x is equal to 10. Okay, so we have to find the value of x in mathematical terms. Okay, so by connecting this to nonce, the x is nothing but just the value of the nonce. Okay, I hope you got it. A nonce is a value used along with the regular transaction that happens in the Bitcoin environment. Okay, now consider the hash output. Okay, okay, then I will say you that a probable predefined hash value can one, let's start like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then the remaining 36 kara and generated in order to generate such a value. Okay, to generate such a 36 characteristics, or to generate 36 kara, we have to we to generate such a value, the nonce is changed every time. The nonce, I repeat, the nonce is changed every time. Okay, the try and the error method is used until the designated hash is generated. Okay, I hope you got it. We cannot change the actual value of a transaction until the hash is used. Okay, so moving towards the other point. Now this is the three facts of the blockchain. I hope these are were clear because it's the basic things of the blockchain that I have discussed. Now let's see the future of blockchain. Yeah, blockchain innovation. The main important future or the main innovation of the blockchain is the smart contract. Actually, smart contract is nothing. We can that is I can see that it is a self-executing contract. Okay, so smart contract is nothing. It's just a self-executing contract. It's similar to the physical contract, like we will be adding the multiple participants, clauses, consequences, and probably every bit of detailed stored digitally. Okay, so this digital format of contract doesn't act just like a respiratory. Instead, such a contract is turned into computer code, which can be executed when certain conditions are met. Depending upon event has occurred, a smart contract can be executed the corresponding action. In much such a similar avatar, I can compare it to smart contract with smart contract are just like a logic sequence defining an if else statement. Okay, so that's it about the smart contract. Actually, it's very simple. You can understood. Then next one is the application, potential application of the blockchain. So I will tell this application also with the examples that you can understood very easily. So we all understand that. Okay, so I have to know about that. We all know about the copyright, right? Copyright. We have the problems that regarding going to the copyright because we all in the world that we know about the copyright systems, right? Yeah. So we all now understood that once the data is recovered on a blockchain, it is almost impossible to edit it, right? That I have already said on at the first point of the blockchain. Now, I'm considering an example of two persons like Jerry and George. Okay, so I'm going to discuss about the first application that is digital ownership. Okay, now I'm saying that Jerry is a comedian. Okay, just think that Jerry is a comedian. He writes one line to perform his stand-up act in his diary or something like something where. Okay, so George is a person who is a regular audience during the jury's act. He make a note of all his jokes in his own diary. Okay, so George is writing all the jokes of the jury in his own diary, and after getting his sufficient content, he moves to another city, or who he went or he will goes to another city and perform the same set of actor. Okay, so by say in other words, we can roughly say that it is a daylight robbery. Correct? Yeah. So, but in the current scenario, Jerry have nothing to claim that Jock is his own work. Who will hear him because he has no proof. Correct? So now we can consider that a blockchain network is created for a digital content. Hmm? Each block is known by the creator name and actual content. I will say you like the examples like the jokes, stories, photographs, etc. Okay. Also, this blockchain is made public for reading so that anyone can check the credibility of the content. With this setup in place, Jerry add each new set of fields to the blockchain before any performance. No matter how good or bad the content, it will always belong to the jury, right? Actually, it is a nice concept, nice, right? Yeah. So, if George now tries to perform this stolen content, he can be easily caught by a simple search on the blockchain. Yeah, it's cool, right? Yeah. So, the search will always throw the jury's name as the creator. So, if George tries to put the same content on the blockchain under his own work, it will always appear belongs to the jury's name below. Okay. Now, the chronology helps in identifying the correct ownership of digital content. Okay, so I hope the digital ownership concept is clear. Now, going to the another topic, that means another application is the reduction in paperwork. So I will give an another example with this means our reading with the our government institutions, etc. So always think about this that we have to do a paperwork in the government institution, but it takes a lots and lots of time, right? Yeah, because that means they have to deal with the voluminous of paperwork. Yeah, so the, this is where the lack of trust will came in such a situation. So this is the reason why a contract authority is resumed. So let's take an example that if I brought a or any one of you brought a piece of land, okay, in order to register it under your name, a huge pileup of ledger and records have to be created. Correct? Yeah. So with blockchain in picture, a lots of record can be digitalized. I hope you got my point that with blockchain we can collect or we can record all the elements with can be digitalized. But in this case, blockchain will require many other technologies to provide a helping hand, right? So this will help like OCR, optical character recognition, to convert all this scanned document into digital copy. Hmm? The man, this is the main idea actually. The main idea of reduction in paperwork is not to digitalize and create a document only, but it is a major solution that should ensure that two parties can reach an agreement without having one single body validating the deal. Okay, so this is the potential applications of the blockchain. Now, my topic is not about the blockchain itself. So my topic is what is how blockchain will help in the renewable system or energy sector. Okay. So moving towards, I'm going to say what is renewable energy. We all know what is renewable energy because we are hearing and studying all those things from this smaller classes, right? Yeah. So I'm just only giving a layout of the what is renewable energy. So renewable energy is a energy that can be collected from renewable sources like sunlight, wind, rain, tides, waves, geothermal heat, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so renewable energy often provides energy in four important areas. Like we all know that, like electricity generation, air and water heating, cooling, transportation, and the rural off-grid energy services. Right. So we all know and heard about all these things in renewable energy sector. So let's look at these graphs, okay? So by these graphs, we can know that the renewable energy cost and prices is dropping significantly, and the fossil fuels are getting cheaper, right? Why? But why? That's the question. Yeah. So for that, how can the blockchain help? So the main concept is the blockchain and energy concept. So we have to connect the blockchain with the energy sector, right? So how can blockchain help? So we have already heard, or you have earlier heard earlier that about peer-to-peer energy trading or peer-to-peer connections or networks, right? Something similar you have heard. So we have to enable the peer-to-peer energy trading, buy and sell locally generated renewable energy over peer-to-peer network, real-time pricing. Then flexible and reliable demand or responses will also help as a blockchain. Then reduce the transmission cost and loss. Okay, so we can also payment. Okay, we can also pay via cryptocurrency and digitalized contract. Now, what will be the help of the blockchain in the transparent, trusted, secure, and efficient data management? That will be an also question for you. So now, keep track on renewable energy certification and emission costs. Okay, the blockchain will help in all the sectors. Verify, manage, secure transactions between producers and consumers. Then reduce the risk of fraud, error, and invalid transactions. So these all the sectors, or these are the places where blockchain can help. Now, we are in the world of a developing. We are in the country of a developing. There are many countries who are developed, and countries in the underdeveloped countries, right? So all in the world, there is one thing happening across is the business. That everything we have already heard about the card that everything is business, right? Yeah. So how business, that means in the energy sector of the renewable, how the blockchain help in the new business model. So decentralized business model by cutting the middleman. I have already said about the decentralization. That means it will cut the middleman. middleman. That means we have no we don't have to pay the middleman. That means like banks, in institutions, etc. To them the extra cost or additional charge to them. Correct? Yeah. The next point is automated billing based on the flexible retail billing. Then next is a proof of origin of generation source. Then enabling small generation to be part of demand response. Mass participation of the consumer trusted rules based auditable. So these are the main sectors or the main portion that were in the blockchain help in the business model or the new business model. Now, looking for the blockchains for energy. Now, I have already said about the renewable sector. Now, I'm going to the other energy sectors. So, we know that in energy or in the formation of the something like that, we have three main characteristics like research, industry, and project. Now in which now blockchain how in I have to tell you that how blockchain helps in the research industry and the projects. So in research, in the business and application model, it will help, and in the infrastructure design and the scalability blockchain can be help, and in the security and privacy reasons we can use the blockchains for the research. The next is the industry. So energy trading, decentralized P2P trading and wholesale. I have already said 2-3 times that the decentralization and the peer-to-peer trading methods. So in this the energy trading, in this and the energy trading, the industries can also take the help of the blockchain. Then in the energy currency, okay. Then next is the infrastructure. That means billing model, communication channel, payment method, etc. Now coming to the projects, that we, because we are all BTech students, or we all have apart from the BTech student, there are all the people who have done various projects in the sector. So you can also do the projects in the blockchain for energy. Okay, so this is the three projects that is considering now is the blockchain based microgrid. You have already heard about thing. I guess you can Google it or something like that, that you can get a lot of information from there. Then blockchain based platform for solar coin exchange. The next is the blockchain based application for electric mobility or EV charging. Then all the things that we have now has a positive side and a negative side. We can say that a coin has the head and tail portion, right? So there is also barriers and challenges in the blockchain in the energy sector also. That means in current blockchain technology it is not mature at all. The next is the established legal and regulatory requirement that blockchain project must comply with them. Then establish law to the protect consumers. These were the three important points that we have to work on the blockchain in the energy sector. Now coming to the conclusion, actually I have said all the I had not tell about the application level. I have only going through the basic concept and the basic things of the blockchain in the energy sector. I hope you all have understood it. Now I am just recollecting all these memories that I have said and you understood things. So coming to the conclusion, it has high potential for blockchain based system and application in energy. Technology quite is not yet matured, that I have already said to you. Then application is still in the pilot state, that we cannot predict what will happen for tomorrow, what will happen for day after next. So that's the thing, that the technology quite is not yet matured. So application is still pilot stage, I have stored. Limited research work more in industry, lack of guidance, laws and regulations. So possible long-term consequences. There are more possible long-term consequences. That is the creation of an internet of the value. Then decentralized society, decentralization, organization, the end or the beginning. We can say that the blockchain in the energy sector, or by the using the blockchain in these sectors, there we can say it will be the end or it will be the beginning of the privacy. So that's all with my short introduction to the blockchain in the energy sector. Hope you like it. Actually, I don't know who are all hearing to me. So thank you for hearing, and thank you for tolerating me for such this time. So I will not waste your time anymore. So I'm just concluding it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Vidya, for your presentation. On behalf of IEEE Scala chapter, I would like to convey our gratitude for presenting your talk on blockchain in energy sector. I hope it was an informative and interesting one. Also, I would like to thank all the participants for registering and participating in this session. Thank you all.